Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Evan. Um, wow, today's been a pretty leaky day. Trying to, God, I'm like looking at myself right now on the camera, and I'm like trying to like make my head straight, and it's very difficult because it's like the opposite of a mirror, so it's like kind of a pain. But yeah, all right, it's good enough for me. All right, so if you guys don't follow Android Police, they just dropped a few exclusives, um, and they're pretty exciting. First one being that we are gonna get a new launcher with Nougat when it releases. Um, well, not everyone is gonna get it; just the Nexus phones are gonna get it, and it does kill off the app drawer icon, not the app drawer itself, just the icon, which is really interesting. Um, this actually looks a lot, it works a lot like ASAP Launcher, which I've actually been using on my phone for a few weeks now, and honestly, I like it. Like, I'm still like not completely sold on just like the like I, I don't know. I like having a button for the launcher, but at the same time, functionally, the swipe up works better. If you guys don't know, the um, new launcher is just going to be activated by swiping up from the dock, and it's sleek. It's nice. I'm just like still like kind of convoluted on it because of that app drawer button and how nice it looks. That we currently have on the Google Now launcher. But it's cool that Google is, like still willing to try out bold decisions. Like Apple would never do something like that, right? Um, but it's awesome to see Google doing it. I mean, actually, I should give Apple some credit. I mean, they've been pretty ballsy with how much they changed the lock screen with iOS 10. So yeah, gotta give credit where credit's due. But Google is just pushing things that much more into the future. Like I don't know why I just felt the need to do that. But seriously, like this is like they're really trying to make Android as user friendly as they possibly can. Um, with like removing the search widget as well and just making it into a tab, because they're realizing, oh, hey, we're bringing in all these new features. We already brought in Now on Tap, um, which is one way to activate Google Now, right? You just swipe up when you hold down on Now on Tap, and well, that's Google Now. It's called Now on Tap, so that makes sense. Um, so you got Now on Tap to activate Google Now. You have you had tapping the search widget to activate Google Now, which you always had at the top of your home screen if you were using the Google Now launcher, and then you had the left swipe if you're using the Google Now launcher as well. So that's Google said, hey, that's kind of redundant, and I agree. Um, so this new design looks just pretty sleek, honestly. Like it eliminates that redundancy, and it also eliminates the redundancy of, well, I guess it's not a redundancy, but it would be a redundancy to have an app drawer icon with a swipe up gesture. I don't know, like I still don't know which format of like how to pronounce that word. I go back and forth, and I don't know. I don't like either pronunciation, so I just switch back and forth. But whatever. Anyways, yeah, it's the launcher's looking pretty sleek. Like I didn't expect them to make a brand new launcher, but it looks like they're doing it just to give Nexus phones some more exclusivity. It's like it seems kind of backwards in a way because Google was doing that. Google did that with the Nexus 5 when they released the Google Now launcher. It was just originally only on the Nexus 5, and that was part of KitKat, which was otherwise a pretty, I mean, it didn't make too many user-facing changes. Like they redesigned the phone app and the downloads app, and that was like literally it. So then Google said, hey, how else can we make this a big update? oh, let's make a new launcher, but we're only going to release it for one of our devices, not even our other Nexi. I guess that's the technical pronunciation. Um, but yeah, they did that for the Nexus 5, and it's cool. Like I've been using the Google Now launcher pretty much like exclusively on my Nexus on all of my Android phones ever since. Um, I use it on my S4. I didn't really like how like it made it, like with the S4 with like its icons, it like looked kind of weird, but I still used it because it was functional. Like Google Now is an awesome feature that I've been using since its inception. So that was nice to it's nice to get an easier way to access it. Um, and now Google's just making another launcher instead of updating the Google Now launcher, just because like you could argue that they're doing it because it's a pretty extreme change. Um, it's a pretty extreme change to remove the app drawer icon, right? Just that in itself, and then the other things that they're doing by removing the search icon. But that's not why they're doing it. They're not doing it because current Google Now Launcher users might get polarized by it, which, I mean, that's a valid reason, but that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it to give Nexus phones more, to separate Nexus phones from non-Nexus phones, which, I don't know, I guess it's a valid, reason, because they want Nexus phones to sell better. They haven't been selling too well. And I mean, I just honestly think that's because Google doesn't advertise them well enough. They don't work with the carriers to put the phones on to sell them through carrier stores. They pretty much just gave up on that whole idea. So I don't know. Well, they've been going back and forth, like with the Galaxy Nexus. Let's go back to the Nexus S. Okay, the Nexus S was released on Sprint and like AT&T and T-Mobile. Every carrier except Verizon. It's called the Nexus S4G on Sprint. It was like Sprint's first 4G phone, so it was kind of a big deal back then. It was actually like my parents' first smartphone when they switched to Android, so it was kind of a big deal. And then the Galaxy Nexus was a pretty big deal as well. Launched as a Verizon exclusive. I just remember like how much people were talking about that phone. Like that was such an exciting time for Android, right? With ice cream sandwich and everything. Like God, like that was the most exciting Android had been up until, well, that and like Lollipop, like those were like huge years for Android in terms of redesign changes. Um, I still remember like in high school, seeing like like the Nexus Prime or that was one of the rumored names. There were so many rumored names for that phone. It was a Nexus Prime, and then it was going to be the Droid Prime. It was going to be the Galaxy Nexus, and it ended up being the Galaxy Nexus. Thank God, because Droid Prime was a terrible name. I would have preferred Nexus Prime, but whatever. Um, anyways, little off topic, but I remember this seeing this dude sitting by me in high school in like the gym, because like it was our like senior faculty basketball game that my high school does on the last day of school before winter break every year. And this dude has the freaking brand spanking new Galaxy Nexus, and he's sitting like up and like to the left of me. And I'm like, holy crap! I just like wanted to like stare at that phone as long as I could. So I'm just like looking over my shoulder, just at this guy using his phone, and he's like talking with his friend, and they're like disabling apps. And I was like, that was one of the new features of Ice Cream Sandwich. They're disabling the apps. And I was like, holy crap, you can just disable the bloatware now. Oh my god. There's this other dude sitting like right directly to the left of me, and he kept thinking I was like looking at him for some reason, and like I was weirding him out, but like I literally did not even care enough to like tell him like I'm not looking at you, bro. Like I was just like too engrossed by that freaking phone. Um, anyways, so yeah, it's nice to see. I don't know, like I'm kind of like convoluted about it because like the reason why the Nexus phones haven't been selling so well is because like well, one reason is Google doesn't advertise them that well, but like they haven't deserved to sell that well. Obviously they deserve to sell better than they have been. Like obviously there are phones that are overrated and sell more than they should. Um, Galaxy S series has been overrated for a while, but now I do think that Galaxy phones are the best Android phones you can get, and probably the best smartphones you can get, period. Um, but yeah, as long as Samsung is making better devices than Google, they should be selling more. And it kind of sucks because Google makes Android, and then so they can do things that like other device manufacturers really can't by building features into the core of Android, but only making them available for their phones. Whereas like with Samsung, they can make their own like exclusive S Pen features for 7, but they're not like integrated into Android, and they're just not going to be as good. Like I guess you can chalk that up to Samsung's like software team not being the best. Um, they're getting better. They actually read some like reports that they're trying to focus more on software. Like they hired a whole new team or something, or got a new software engineering person to oversee their software business. I don't know, but TouchWiz has come a long way, and it's like it's been getting better every year. But like I think with like the S7, like it's truly like a good skin. Like the S6 era phones, 2015 Samsung flagship still had some problems with TouchWiz in general, and it got slower over time and stuff. But like I think now TouchWiz is a nice skin. It works and it looks fine. Um, yeah. um, but yeah, this news day is it's with Android Police. Like I don't know how they get all their exclusives, but it's cool because they'll just like drop more than one on a single day. Like they also released a view of the wallpapers from the new Nexus phones, and they actually look pretty cool. Like these are the coolest looking Android wallpapers I've seen in a while personally. Like probably since Jelly Bean or maybe even Ice Cream Sandwich. I haven't been impressed by Android wallpapers since that era, really. Like any of the stock wallpapers that they've added since then have been pretty mediocre in my opinion. Um, I still love Phase Bean from Ice Cream Sandwich, and you'll still see people rocking it. You'll see like official like Google screenshots and demos and stuff, and the phone will still have that Phase Bean wallpaper because it was such a dope wallpaper. Um, I think Google needs to go back to making some live wallpapers because it's not like they killed off live wallpaper support in Android. They just haven't made any in a while. Um, but yeah, this video has been pretty long, guys. I'm sorry I kind of droned on. I plan on doing one of these like every day. Um, so let me know if you want me to keep them more concise and just talking about tech, all the news, rounding up the news, or whatever. I just kind of talk whatever I feel about talking. Like, um, let's see if there's any other like non-Android news, because like I don't just like I like Android, but like I like other operating systems. I like Windows, and I know the anniversary update is dropping tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. Excited to install it on my desktop because my Surface has had it for a little while because I've been running the previews. Now that it's on the RTM, I opted out of insider previews. I always like think that I'm going to enjoy the preview cycle, and then I usually just get burned out. But then the light at the end of the tunnel is getting the RTM before everyone else, and as you know, the RTM is like final stable build, so it's been fine ever since it's been on that build. But it was rocky beforehand, and yeah, I'm actually like really excited about the anniversary update. I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but yeah, it's a bunch of like basically it's just like a bunch of tiny little things that just make it like the experience that much better. Like I said, I don't know. I'll just stop talking about it right now so I can talk about it tomorrow, I guess. Um, but yeah, there haven't been really too many other news um, pieces of news with like anything else that's too noteworthy to mention or anything. Um, the Xbox One S is, I guess, on sale as of today. Um, I thought it was going on sale tomorrow. I don't freaking know. It's cool. I like it. It's really small. Like I just like moved my Xbox 360 to my room, and like just moving it, I was just appreciating how much smaller it was than my Xbox One because I have the 360S, and just I was getting used to the Xbox One's appearance and everything. I mean, it's just a box that I didn't really like. I was like, whatever. Like I used to hate how ugly it was, and then I just stopped caring. But now seeing my 360 again makes me kind of want that Xbox One S, to be honest. Um, and like just it's mostly just the same thing, but it is gonna probably be a little bit quieter. It'll be nice not to have the power brick. It'll be nice to get the HDR. Honestly, I don't have a 4K TV, so I don't care about that. But the HDR would probably be nice to have, as well as a new controller. So, yeah, I'm excited about that too. I'll talk about all that stuff more tomorrow. Let's see if there's been any Apple stuff today. I don't think there has been. Um, Apple released a new iPad Pro app. Cool. Oh, iOS 10 Beta 4 came out today. Shit. So I need to get on that. My friend is borrowing my iPhone. He needs to give that back to me though, because I need to talk about this stuff, and he doesn't realize that. So, uh, he's such